Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Janu and I talk about all things mindful living. So I've been a full-time creator for over 2 years now, and there are a ton of money lessons that I've learned along the way. Here are 5 money lessons that I wish I knew sooner. The first lesson I wish I knew is where to actually keep my money. If you're not investing your money or keeping it in a high yield savings account, you're losing a lot of money. Traditional bank accounts like Bank of America or Chase typically offer you about 0.01% in returns, whereas like a high yield savings account offers about 3% in returns. Put a list of high yield savings accounts in the description box for you to check out. But essentially there's inflation, and inflation means that every year the cost of your dollar is going to go down. So if you're not making money off of your money, you're actually losing money. So this is a place where I keep my emergency fund as well as money for taxes. So since I have my own business, I pay taxes quarterly, and so I keep a separate savings account for that. And so why not have an extra $100 a year that is being put into that account because I have it in a high yield savings account. These are just more mindful things that I wish I was aware of, because these things you aren't taught in school about high yield savings accounts. And these are things I had to learn on my own. And hopefully the things I'm sharing today will be helpful to you as well. The next thing I wish I knew sooner was that you don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful. Like, you can wake up at 7, you can wake up at 8 and still be successful. I feel like with all these YouTube videos where it's like my 4 a.m. wake up routine, it's like, it makes you feel like you have to do those things in order to accomplish your goals or be successful, where that simply is not the case. I think if you manage your time well and you're very intentional about the things that you're doing and you have good habits, you can still achieve great things and wake up at 7, 8 a.m. I know for me, when I was growing up, I always woke up at 5 a.m. because I had to take a bus to a train to get to school because I never grew up with a car. And now that I work for myself, I wake up kind of when I want, unless I have something to do in the morning. I wake up when my body wakes up, and it's just nice to be able to rest more and not just be in such a hustle mode. So now I'm just really focused on, finding that balance of, yes, I want to work hard and accomplish certain goals, but I also want to be able to rest. I think for me to get to where I've been has really been about, showing up and doing my best and being consistent. I might not have been as consistent on YouTube, and I'm working on getting back to that. But I think when you manage your time well and you have good habits and you are really focused on what it is you need to accomplish, and you do those things, that's when, the success starts to happen and the opportunities start to come your way, because now you're, prepared to handle these things. Next thing I wish I knew sooner is that you don't need a lot of money to invest. Now I know, especially for women, like, the word investing is very intimidating. Still to this day, I'm still learning a lot when it comes to investing, but you can start investing with as little as $10. So I started investing with Acorns. Again, I'm going to put all this in the description box below so you have access to it. But Acorns, for example, you can have $10 a month that comes from your bank account that's automatically invested every month, and they kind of do it for you. You kind of set like how much risk you want to take and how long you're kind of planning on investing, and it definitely makes a big difference because you want your money to grow. And again, even if you only have $10 to put towards investing, it's better than nothing. And of course, you also want to make sure you have your emergency fund. So I would say, make sure you're saving for your emergency fund, but slowly but surely, as you get that, big emergency fund, that you're investing the rest of your money as well. And it's not just sitting in your bank account, because as we said before, with inflation, the value of your dollar is actually going to go down. So you need to find ways to grow that money. And there's easy ways to do it without having to do much work. Reminder to not be intimidated by investing, but to be empowered to invest in your financial future. Next thing I wish I knew sooner, and this goes back to what we were just talking about, but it's investing in your future. So making sure you're preparing for retirement now. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be 60 years old still working. Like, I want to chill out, relax, travel, do whatever it is that I want to do, and be financially free and not have to think about money. So something that I'm doing now is investing in a Roth IRA, which essentially is a investment account that you can put in a certain amount of money per year. So last year was $6,000. This year is $6,500. And essentially this is money that you put into it after you pay taxes. And when you take it out, when you're 59 and a half, you don't have to pay taxes on it, which is great. So a lot of retirement accounts, you're going to have to pay taxes on that money when you take it out later on in life. But this one, you don't. So I would highly recommend recommend setting up a Roth IRA. Again, I'm not a financial expert, so these are things that you need to do your own research on, but these are things that I'm doing that have been helpful to me. So last year I did max out my Roth IRA at $6,000. As you can see here, it's already making a good amount of money and I am not doing anything. So make sure if you do open up a Roth IRA, I have mine through Vanguard, that you're actually investing the money. A lot of times people will put money into the investment account but don't realize that you actually have to put it in stocks and things like that. So make sure you're actually investing your money. And they have financial advisors or digital financial advisors that are on the Vanguard app, for example, that can manage it for you. You can kind of set your risk and they can just manage it for you. They do take a small percentage, but I think it's worth it. Again, I am no expert. These are the things that I'm doing. Not everyone who's watching this video is based in the US, so whatever your sort of retirement fund that you have in your country, I would highly recommend looking into it and figuring out what you need to do to think about the future you now. 5 is to live below your means. Even when you start to make more money, don't go out and splurge a ton of money. Now, I think it's okay to, buy nice things for yourself. I really like to travel, and I know when I did my first sort of big brand deal, I did buy myself a nice purse because that's something that I've wanted for years and years. But I think it's just important to not go crazy when you're, starting to make more money. I know when I was living in LA, everyone, especially in their 20s, they're driving like BMWs and Benzes that they definitely cannot afford, and that they're leasing it and they didn't buy it. And instead of spending all that money on a car that is depreciating, you need to be investing it. So I know last year I really wanted a nice car because my lease was going to be up on my Jetta. And I was like, you know what? I just need to pay this car off and I'm not gonna have a car payment anymore. And the money that I'm putting towards that car payment can be put towards either my business or I can be investing it into my retirement, into my future. So again, make sure you're taking care of the future you and not just thinking now. I do think it is important to enjoy money now, enjoy the successes and the things that you have now, but also think about yourself in the future. What would your 40-year-old or 50-year-old self be telling you? What can you do to take care of that 40-year-old version of yourself? So again, don't get caught up in, the glitz and the glam and trying to keep up with the Joneses, as we say in the US, and don't try to impress people who don't even have money themselves and they're also trying to keep up with the Joneses. Take care of your financial future now. Invest in things that are going to actually make you money and not lose money. For example, the camera that I'm filming on right now is a very expensive camera. Between the lens and the equipment is a couple $1,000s, but this is in turn making me money versus spending a ton of money on a car that's just going to depreciate. I do think one day I'm going to have a nice fancy car because I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I want a nice electric car. Hopefully I can find it used, but I think that's okay. But only once I get to a certain point where I have investments in real estate and other things that make sense. And, I just really want to look out for the future me and take care of me now and also just set myself up for success for the rest of my life. I hope all the things that I talked about today you found helpful. Let me know if you're doing any of these things, if you've thought about retirement and other money lessons that you've had to learn. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.